Hey brewers, look what I got. 50-liter keg of Stratocaster, baby. Grabbed that from our friends at Oxys. I was just too lazy to brew some, so I thought I'd grab a couple kegs from there. I mean, it is ours. We do own it. So, plus we need some samples to send out to those places like Leopold's and such, who are so nice to carry our beer in the Forks. Places like that, we'd like to add some more good friends to those places. Rendezvous in Morden, they carry some of our beer too. But anyway, some of us have keezers or smaller kegerators where we like to have a variety on tap. Basically, if you've got a kegerator that can hold 2 or 3 or even 4 ball lock or pin lock kegs, you slap one of these babies in there, you're down to 1. Not the best unless you're probably not having a party and getting it all done in a night or so. Or sometimes maybe 2, you and your buddy or a couple friends want to get one of these, split it into a couple ball locks, take it home, whatever. There are plenty of reasons why you don't necessarily want a 50-liter, but it may be the only option to buy your favorite beer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer out some of this into a ball lock keg. I've only had this in the fridge for like an hour. Paul left it at room temperature, so it's pretty warm still. But I need to get this done today and then throw it in the fridge. So we're gonna do a pressure transfer similar to what we've done. Maybe you've seen Paul do it. If serving beer at festivals has taught me anything, as it's, as the day goes on, it's getting warmer, you're pushing it through those big jockey box coils and such, that we're gonna need about 30 PSI at least to keep our CO2 in solution. Otherwise, we're gonna be transferring relatively flat beer. And then obviously we can recarb it and such, but I think we'd like to be drinking this tomorrow. So I wanna keep as much of that as possible in. Also, we're gonna lose some of our aromatics, that kind of thing, by losing our carbonation. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna lift this bitch up onto here. We're gonna set our spunding valve on our receiving keg and put our receiving keg at 30 PSI. Well, actually, we're gonna do it at 25 PSI because I'm using an MK4. Oh no, this is the 100 PSI MK4, sweet. So no, we are gonna set it at 30. We're gonna transfer it about 35, 40 PSI. Try to get the least amount of foaming possible. It's my first time doing this, but we need beer, so let's get her done. So the most fun part is gonna be lifting this big old keg onto the table. And of course, Paul already, thankfully, I do have the pipes barely to lift this when it's full, but Paul's already pulled his share when it was cold. Nice guy. So it's not gonna be as hard to put on the table. This is only about 30 liters in there right now. All right, so we've got our nice clean Sankey connector from last week, fresh as a daisy. We've pushed some star sand through our line here. Step 1, we've already star sanded this keg, of course. We gotta set our spunding valve to 30 PSI. Luckily, the gauges on this are peachy, so we shouldn't have as much of a hard time as we did last week. That's about 30 PSI. Okay, so last week I thought the spunding valve was kind of messed up, but it turns out that's set at 30. Okay, so this dial goes up to 30, but we're really only getting about 28. And that's cool. Oh, sometimes that happens. That's just a little bit of the last bit of the star sand there. So what we're gonna do, and there you go. All right, so now, there we go. So now we're gonna set this guy at 35, and we might go a little bit higher than that. Do I have enough juice? No, I don't. Put this in, hook up my beforehand. Boom, turn it in. Always important to have the lever up when you're turning it in. And we're in. And now we go like so. So we didn't have that much pressure in here. That's why you can hear it flowing in. And that's okay. We want to keep that CO2 in solution. I don't know if we've already lost some because Paul's pulled this. Kind of a less than ideal situation here. Excuse me. And don't be like me. Give yourself some length on your hoses so you don't have to do shit like this. And here we go. So any second, because we got 35 flowing in, and we're only sitting at about 27 here, we should start getting some blow off from our spunding valve any second. Not quite yet. So yeah, there's definitely stuff happening, so that's okay. We're building pressure. It's eventually going to start blowing off on us. And here we go. See, there we go. Now it's starting to blow off. We've got good pressure. We might even be able to dial this back a little bit, and we shall. No need to waste CO2. Like, yeah, I obviously want this to happen quickly, but CO2 is expensive. Not that expensive, but nobody likes to waste money, really, right? I mean, like, making it rain, CO2. If it rains CO2 all the time, I'd probably die. I don't know. Science? So let's see. Oh yeah, definitely got some transfer going. This is definitely working. I don't know. Again, we're gonna have to chill this keg, throw it in the fridge to see if we're actually properly carbed. I mean, worst case Ontario, we'll just throw it on 12 PSI for a couple days and just be patient, or drink beer that's a tiny bit flat. I mean, you know, any port in a storm, I always say. However, I'm not a sea person at all. It's just a cool saying. All right, we'll be back in a minute when this sucker's full, and that's that. I mean, you can do this, like, yes, we've done it with our Eva barrier tubing and our duo-tight fittings and our Kegland spunding valve. There's you can make your own spunding valves. I've seen a few people do that. It's a little more complicated. They're usually made out of brass or something like that. I'm sure there are stainless steel ones in the pro brew community. As a matter of fact, there definitely are. All this stuff here today, including the keg of beer, comes right from us at Grain to Glass. Isn't that nice? The pro brew game is hard, but it's fun, and I just love going to the events and like seeing people just get absolutely licked and keep coming back for like, can I have another? Can I have another? Can I have another? And I'm like, yeah, you can. Oh yeah, see, this is going good. We're already halfway there. And like, I don't see a lick of foam coming through here. Beautiful. That is all beer, baby. And it's also happening quickly. I like when things happen quickly. It's been one of the hardest things I've had to learn in my life, that shit doesn't happen at my speed, and I fucking hate it. This is the tits. This is only the second time I've done this. This is awesome. I am going to be doing a lot more things under pressure and doing a lot more pressure transfer stuff, especially with my IPAs. It's how you keep that beautiful, beautiful hop flavor for as long as possible. What do we got? I'd say about 3/4 of the way. I wonder what's going to be quicker. Try to pull this off or throw the switch. When these final words are throw the switch, we turn to dust, dust to dust. Big Misfits fan over here. I don't know if you remember my poor rendition of Skulls, but hack the heads of little girls and put them on my wall. Yeah, don't bother looking for that one. Smile on your brother. Oh yeah, we're almost there. So how do we know when it's full, you ask? It's gonna start coming out the pressure relief valve. Or actually, if I go like this, no, nothing coming out there yet. Usually when I'm doing this, I leave the PRV open. So I'm kind of wondering how we're gonna know what's the fuck here. Oh, I guess also our spunding valve will probably start pissing some stuff too. I don't know, it's my first day. We gotta be getting there. Like if this was cold beer, we'd be able to see some condensation here, but with warm beer, that is not really going to happen. I guess worst case, I'll have to disassemble the spunding valve and clean it. Oh well. We're also not getting foam. Like if we weren't doing this pressure thing, I'm pretty sure like I'd have to, like, cause I've done that before, you pretty much have to like put it in a pail and then, oh shit, there we go. All right. So that keg is 100% full. Beautiful. And there you have it. There's, you know, you can do it by weight. You can do it by flow meter, as I may have said before in another video. But like if all you got is your pressure fermenting stuff, like your fancy spunding valve and such, then that's how you do it. And if it's already carb, you don't really need to, like, thing is if you bury the gas dip tube, it's gonna take you longer to carbonate. But if it's already carbed, hardly a concern now, is it? Well, I'm gonna put this in the fridge and then we're gonna go get fucked up. You should too. See you next Friday.